Welcome to Gokul Global University. Today we are going to discuss Employees Compensation Act 1923. Employees Compensation Act 1923. Its old name was Workmen's Compensation Act 1923. So let us start with introduction. This act is Employees Compensation Act 1923. It applies to whole of India including Jammu and Kashmir. This act is effective from 1st July 1924 in India. It means it introduced in 1923 and effective from 1st July 1924. Now let us understand the objectives of this act. This act provides social security to employees. Now question arises that in which circumstances this act provides social security to employees, and the answer is an employee who dies or suffers from disablement, whether it is partial disablement or total disablement, and due to an accident, it's entitled to get compensation from his employer. Now let us understand the structure of this act. This act contains total number of 36 sections which are divided into 4 parts of this act and 4 schedules. Schedule 1 includes the list of injury, which is divided into 2 parts. Part 1 covers the injury which are under total disablement, and part 2 cover injuries which are under partial disablement. Schedule 2 contains the list of persons who are included in the definition of employees of this act. Schedule 3 list of occupational disease. Occupational disease means disease caused by the work or working condition. In case of permanent disablement or in case of death, how many amount is payable as a compensation, that calculation factor is given under Schedule 4 of this act. Applicability of the act. This act is applicable to those factories, mines and construction workers etc. which are not covered under Employee State Insurance Act 1948. Now why this kind of provision is made? Because if a injury happen to employee, then he is liable to get compensation only for one time. For a same injury, he is not entitled to get compensation under different head. It means employees covered under ESI Act is not entitled to get compensation under Employees Compensation Act. Now we are going to study disablement. What is meaning of disablement? Disablement means loss of capacity to work or to move. It means you may lose or employee may lose or reduce their working efficiency. It may result in loss of reduction of his earning capacity. Due to reduction in working capacity, it affects to earning capacity also. It may be permanent or temporary in nature. It may be partial or total. The main consequence of disablement is a person is not able to earn as much as he used to earn before his disablement. Now let us discuss the term partial disablement, section 2G of Employees Compensation Act 1923. Partial disablement means any disablement as reduced the earning capacity of employee as a result of some accident. It means it reduces the earning capacity of employee because of accident. Now let us understand the type of partial disablement: temporary partial disablement, and second is permanent partial disablement. Now let us understand the term temporary partial disablement, in which it reduces the earning capacity in employment which he was engaged at the time of accident. It means the employee cannot perform the same nature of work properly which he is performed before the accident. Now permanent partial disablement. means when it reduced the earning capacity in every employment which he was capable of at the time of accident. Every injury specified in the part 2 of schedule 1 shall be deemed to result in permanent partial disablement. Nearby 50 injuries included in part 2 of schedule 1 considered as a permanent partial disablement. Now let us discuss the term total disablement under section 2L of Employees Compensation Act 1923. Total disablement means a disablement which is incapacitated an employee for all work which he was capable of performing at the time of an accident resulting in such disablement. It means an employee is not able to perform any kind of work can be considered as a total disablement, provided that permanent total disablement shall be deemed to result for every injury specified in part 1 of schedule 1. There are six kind of injury included in part 1 of schedule 1 as a permanent total disablement from any combination of injuries specified in part 2 where the aggregate percentage of loss of earning capacity as specified in the said part of against those injuries amount to be 100% or more. It means if employees having one or more injuries which are mentioned in part 2 and aggregate percentage of loss of total injuries are 100% or more, then it is considered as a permanent total disablement. Now let us understand the term employees which is covered under section 2DD of Employees Compensation Act 1923. Employees means a person who is railway servant, crew member of ship, crew member of aircraft, driver, cleaner, helper or mechanic of motor vehicle, employees recruited for abroad, person employed in activities like manufacturing process, explosives, mines, ship loading, unloading, construction, electricity generation and distribution, drivers, horticulture and circus. All the above mentions are covered in the definition of employee, but the employees does not include any person working in the capacity of a member of the armed force of the union. Now question arises that if any employee employed through contractor can be covered in the definition of employees. Yes, employees employed through contractor is also included in Employees Compensation Act 1923. But another question arises that who is liable to pay compensation to that employee? Contractor or principal employer? In case of Managing Director Orissa State Warehousing Corporation versus Srimati Geeta Rani, employees liable to receive compensation from employer. It doesn't matter that employees employed through contractor. Employees is entitled to be indemnified by the contractor for such compensation, but the principal liability is of employer. Now let us understand section 3 of the Employees Compensation Act 1923, and that is employer's liability for compensation. A liability of the employer shall be subject to the following condition. It means if the following condition will fulfill, then employer is liable to pay compensation. Number 1, personal injury must have been caused to an employee. It means there must be an injury to employee. Number 2, such injury must have been caused by an accident. Here this kind of injury must have been caused by an accident. 3rd, the accident must have arisen out of and in the course of employment. It means an accident must have been caused due to employment and during the time of employment. 4th, the injury must have been resulted either in the death of the employee or in his total or partial disablement for a period exceeding 3 days. It means the death must be caused due to the injury or total or partial disablement which is more than 3 days. If injury is recovered before 3 days, then the condition considered as incomplete. If the above 4 conditions are fulfilled, the employers are liable to pay compensation. Now let us understand the following circumstances where employer shall not be liable to pay compensation. Number 1. If the injury did not result into total or partial disablement of the employee for the period of exceeding 3 days. It means if the injury is not for more than 3 days, means it recovers within the 3 days, then employer is not liable to pay any kind of compensation. Number 2. That the employee was at the time of accident under the influence of drinks and drugs. It means if employee under the influence of drinks and drugs at the time of accident, then employer is not liable to pay any kind of compensation. Number 3. That the employee willingly disobey any order expressly given or framed for the purpose of securing safety of the employees, that the employee having certain safety guards or safety device. It means if the employee willingly not follow the safety rules and regulations, then employer is not liable to pay any kind of compensation. In the above conditions where the employer are not liable to pay compensation, in such a case burden of proof shall lie on employer side. Thank you.